I noticed like black artists don't get a lot of like they don't get a lot of acknowledgement. Is that the proper word? Like
Okay.
nobody really notices them, or they're just like, oh, it's just some artist or whatever. But
Mm.
with them, like they started this platform for them, and I'm just like, that's absolutely amazing. Um, because now it's like, now we're known for our work. It's not just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this person painted this or this person did this. They just know them by their art piece. They don't know them for who they are as an artist. And I think that's like like that was amazing that that person did that. um but honestly, like, I don't have anything negative, or like I said, everyone's very supportive, nice, and they're always there. And they're like, for example, like if I post something, they'll retweet it, like so other people can see, or like so that helps. As an artist, that helps a lot, and also supporters and everything. They're very, very nice.
Tell me more about the person that started to create a platform for
Um,
Black artists. That would be great to know, so
or
people.
it's
Oh,
they're called at XX1 off.
XX1 off.
Yes.
Okay, and this is on Twitter.
Yes.
That's so great that whoever this person is doing that. Hey peeps, what's up? I'm Anne-Marie Alanis, and this is Rare Digital Bird, a series about artists, their creations, and their experiences, both good and bad, using blockchain technology. In episode 3, we discussed why blockchains are important for all of us and where crypto art fits in all of this. Guide your cursor up here for the link to episode 3. For this episode, let's talk community. Just about every artist interviewed for Rare Digital Bird mentions how supportive the crypto art community is, so it's evident that it's an important ingredient when you're looking to become a crypto artist. Crypto art is still an intimidating and obstacle-ridden world for most artists. So how do some artists get past these barriers to entry? Mentors. One thing I noticed for some artists who've entered this world successfully is that they have a crypto art buddy or mentor to soften their landing in this new world. Neurocolor helped Anne Ahoy, Dame Agate Haunch helped Fab and Rashid, Jared Scott's eyes opened to the crypto art world through his friend Justin, also known as Cyber Art by Justin. And as you'll see in this episode, Jaleel Dowdy helped Paola Castillo. These are just a few of the key people in the crypto art space that have helped navigate and motivate artists to take the leap. How do you find a mentor or a buddy to help you become a crypto artist? Every crypto art marketplace or platform that's worth a try has very active, supportive online communities, mainly on Discord and or Telegram. Here you'll find a variety of mostly veteran and new artists. You'll also find the community manager and moderators or ambassadors for each platform. Try hanging out for a while in these online communities first to get the gist of who the main players are, what they're like, and observe what everyone's talking about. Get an idea of who the crypto art marketplace platform's team members are. Observe how they operate and how well they support their own communities. After you get an idea of who's knowledgeable, chat with them and message them with your questions to get an idea of who you vibe with. Keep in mind that team members are employed or contracted to work for their respective platforms, and they might be limited in time, capacity, and non-disclosure agreements. So it's good to ask team members, as well as crypto artists and crypto art enthusiasts, your questions for broader insights. Other places crypto artists and crypto art enthusiasts are active are on content sites like Hive and Scent, and virtual worlds like CryptoVoxels and Decentraland, and something a bit more familiar to you, Twitter. A couple of people to start off with on Twitter would be Jason Bailey, also known as ArtNo for his general art knowledge and art analytics, and Sergey Vinitsky, also known as Power Surge. He's great for keeping up to date on crypto art news and culture. Art curator and manager and CEO of Blockchain Art Exchange, Sasha Nishikawa Bailey, has quite an extensive collection of videos pertaining to crypto art on his YouTube channel, Bae, B-A-E. Josie Bellini, crypto artist and fellow Chicago native, also has an ever-growing collection of crypto artist interviews on YouTube, and there's also the collection of interviews on the Matthew and Rizzle Show Scent podcast on Spotify. Another thing to be aware of is how crypto art collectors think. DCL Blogger and Whale Shark are a couple of our most vocal collectors who shared their insights on crypto art collecting. I've posted all the links to these and more in the description below. Now, if you're an artist who's considering exploring the crypto art world, or if you're a blockchain dev interested in creating something better that artists will want to use, consider clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell. For our 4th episode, I'm super delighted to welcome today's guest, Paola Castillo. Paola is a Dominican digital artist who currently resides in New Jersey. She was born and raised in the vibrant Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan, also known as Little Dominican Republic. Her art is not only shaped by the culture she grew up in, but also by social media and her love of fashion, nature, and Barbie dolls. A few of her works can be seen at Synoptic's digital art gallery in the virtual world of cryptovoxels, and you can find her art on both knownorigin.io and rarible.com. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I got to hear that story about how you started with art. So could you share that with the audience, like how you got into art in the first place?
Sure. Well, when I was a child, I used to love like drawing, and then, but it's like, how can I explain it? Like, I enjoyed drawing it, but I didn't take it to like a serious level. You know, you just doodle, and then just hey, mommy hangs it on the wall, like, oh, mommy, I made this for you. But that was about it. But my main focus when I was a child was like Barbie dolls. I had this thing for them. Like every time we would go to Toys R Us, I always run to like the Barbie doll section and like see what's new. And I just like had a thing for them. And then from there, I don't know, like when it comes to Barbie dolls, they have like this thing where they sell like the wardrobe separately.
Yeah.
And I would like take that and then just play around with the dolls, like change up their outfits. Because sometimes the doll would just come with like one outfit or sometimes two, but you want to change it up. But that's how I started my journey into it. And then from there, when I was in middle school, I kind of like was not really into it. Like I wasn't really focused because I was trying to like get myself together when it comes to school, grades and all that. And then from high school, that's when I like fashion got into it. I was like really into fashion, always had like fashion magazines every time I would like go to school, like, go to classes and stuff. And I would always like look at the trends. And from there, I got more interested in like, I connected them to the dolls and the fashion. And I try to like play around with it more, like with the wardrobes. I started to go out and buy more dolls at the time. And I still have like I still have like a few dolls. I still have them with me, but like sometimes like as you get older, parents are like, you need to get rid of them already. You're getting too old. And I'm like, but I really like them. Like, I don't want to let them go. But I guess at one point I'm going to have to, which is kind of sad.
No, don't do that. It's like having a teddy bear. Like, yes. I still have my childhood teddy bear. I have it on a shelf. I don't like hug it at night, but like still, so awesome. You just kept them.
He introduced me to like porcelain dolls.
Oh yeah.
Like a collection of those too. And yeah, and then I started getting into like vintage instead of like moderate fashion. Like I started looking back in the old fashioned magazines, look at the trends, what was popular. And then I started getting more fascinated with vintage items, like things that have so much history. I really
cool.
loved it and everything.
Yeah. So like vintage clothing or
Yeah, clothing, jewelry, anything, accessories. They really
yeah.
like inspire me because my mother, she started like not started, she always had this vintage side to her. So she would like buy a lot of vintage things. The house was full of vintage items.
Oh,
And
how cool.
sometimes I would be like, Mom, I think we're overdoing it right now.
So she would collect a lot of vintage stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you can argue, like, since you have a lot of vintage stuff, I get to hold on to my vintage Barbies. And so you grew up in Washington Heights, and then you went and uh, or you were born in Washington Heights, and then you grew up in Long Island.
And
Or
I was actually born in Washington Heights, where it's like mostly known for like the Dominican community, I would say, because everyone that mostly comes from the Dominican Republic either moves to Manhattan, which is Manhattan, but to Washington Heights in Manhattan, or if not, they move to like the Bronx or Queens. But my mother decided to move to Manhattan at the time when she came from the Dominican Republic. So yeah, and then from there, before my first birthday, my mom, I think it was my first birthday, or maybe my third or fourth birthday, my mom decided to like move to Staten Island. And then it was kind of different because when you're in like Washington Heights, it's very crowded, you know, more unity, everyone's loving, the food is there, the culture is there. And then when you go to Staten Island, it's a complete different environment. It's like you're an outsider from like all the other boroughs. Like you have Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, and I believe that's it. But yeah, like you're just an outsider, so a lot of people don't really know a lot about Staten Island. And normally it's just like a small island, and it's just very quiet. It's not really much to do there, but yeah, my mom decided to move over there. She still lives there to this day. But yeah,
so so you were surrounded by water, and there was
yes.
just,
And then
I
to
mean,
get to the other side of the island, like if I want to go to Manhattan or Brooklyn or whatever, I would have to take a ferry, and the ferry would take me straight to Manhattan, and then from there I would have to take the train in order to get like to Brooklyn, Queens, and all the other boroughs.
I mean, that's kind of cool though, having to take the ferry.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
pretty cool.
It used to be cooler when they actually let like not passengers, drivers, they used to drive their vehicles onto the boat, and it was so cool.
Oh,
It was
that
so
is pretty
sweet.
cool. And so, do you live in Manhattan now, or where do
No, I
you live now?
actually moved to New Jersey.
Oh, okay. All right. So, New York suburb is
Yes.
what they call it. No taxes. Yay!
Yeah.
Did growing up in these areas like influence your art and your interests around art?
Yeah, it completely did because like I said, when I would used to like from time to time I would visit Washington Heights because I have family there. So when I would visit them, like the fashion is different, the food is different,
Right.
everything is so different. But when you go to Staten Island, it's like it's really quiet. There's not a lot of people outside. Everyone's just doing their own thing, and it was just so different. Like I don't know. And then like when I was in high school, like it was a lot of how can I explain it? Like it was it was all uniform, so there was like kind of like more strict. It was very strict. Like you couldn't really express your style. So the only way you could probably do it was maybe like if your shoes were black, maybe you could put something on it to make it look stylish or something. But yeah, my mom loved me in uniform. She didn't want me like wearing whatever I want. I guess because it got easier to dress up, you just put on that and you're ready to go. So then, as I was in high school, then I kind of like got into like the uniform. I'm like, oh, this is actually cool. It's not bad because like everyone wore like their uniforms differently, like they walk
Oh,
differently, they act differently in their uniform. So I was like,
yeah,
well, it's actually pretty cool in a way.
yeah. And you mentioned shoes, and I noticed that a lot of your art is
Yes.
shoes, actually transcontinental shoes, like from different parts of the world,
Yes.
which I think is really cool. Are these from your collection of shoes, or is this just something that you may have seen in a fashion magazine that really like
It's
touched you in some
actually
way?
from like the fashion magazine because mostly like the shoes that I see, I'm like, oh, they're really nice and like you want them, but then when you look at the price, it's like,
Yeah.
I can't pay that. So like when it comes to fashion, I learned to like budget wisely and like not overspend because at the end of the day, it's gonna wear out. You're not gonna have for a long time unless you like wear it on for like special occasions and stuff. So yeah, I just learned to budget and not look at designers and like all this other stuff because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's just gonna go to waste.
Yeah, my favorite places to go are thrift shops.
Yes.
I always find gems there. Like in fact, when I walk down the street or something, people always talk like they'll always be like, "Oh, that's a beautiful dress." And it's the only dress that I got from the thrift shop
Yeah.
and not from like some designer house or something like
Yeah,
that. So it's
exactly.
really it's nice to hear that, especially when you go to a thrift shop.
Yes.
And it's fun to find gems and stuff like
Yes,
that. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Especially like that one of a kind piece. It's like the best thing on the planet because it's like
Yeah.
it fits you and it just suits you and it looks good on you. And that's what I like about well, fashion, yes, but when it comes to like vintage, it's just one of a kind.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Um, I know that you were inspired by your Barbie dolls and fashion magazines. Are there any particular designers that you really love, or any particular types of fashion that you tend to like that tends to inspire you more?
Hmm. Well, for me, I just look around. Like, it could either be social media. Like, I follow a lot of fashion pages there. Designers, maybe those like underground designers that nobody really knows about. I follow them because then everyone has like a really cool creative thing that they do when it comes to like making a piece to wear is very unique. And that's where I get most of my inspiration. Like I just look around on social media. I could go to Pinterest. I could go to like Instagram, I mean not
Pinterest is
Facebook. I
great.
don't have
Yeah.
Facebook, but
Yeah.
like I could go to Twitter and like people post, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I really like that. And I know like sometimes like as a person you want to buy something from them, but it's like, okay, I look at the price, I'm like, I can't afford it, but I will support you by, retweeting your page or like, making sure that you're known or somebody knows about you or something. I think that's like the best thing to do is since sometimes you can't like afford to buy certain things.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's where I get like my inspiration from, just looking around because at the end of the day we have so much free resources that can help us, to do so many things and build up our
Yeah.
skills and everything.
Yeah.
But if it comes when it comes to like art, I like Picasso. I like what's his other name? Van Gogh. Like I really like his style of art, and like it's mostly like vintage artists. I would say like their art is amazing, and then now we have new artists that came, and I just like really like love their style and like the meaning to what they're trying to put down on the canvas and stuff. Like it's really cool. Um, but yeah, that's all. I really don't know. It's just a lot of artists that I really
Yeah.
like.
Um, I can really see a lot of a lot of your art is very elegant.
Yeah.
It's minimalist but elegant. So I can see how Vogue would would inspire you for sure. Um, I guess we can go into your two pieces
Okay.
now. So I see that you shared with me both the promise and seasonal. Um, let's do the promise
The
first.
promise, sure.
I think it's so beautiful. Um, so I love what you said here. Life will be different, and there will be peace and joy as the waves sing and the wind blows into fresh, clean air, as we laugh and see the beauty of God's creations. Um, it's very hopeful, especially in a time like this now.
Yes.
Um, I love what you say there. So tell me the meaning, the story behind it.
Sure. Well, the story behind it was like, I was like, all right, I need to find my next idea for the next piece that I have to make. So I was like browsing on social media. It was on Instagram, and someone shared like a story or something on Instagram. And the video, it was like three little boys running around in like the beach, and it was sunset. And I was like, I like that. I like the view. So what happened was, it's a video, so I had to kind of like figure out, okay, when should I screenshot it? Like, so then I screenshotted it, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do my piece on this. So then I started doing it on like the Adobe Illustrator on the computer, and then now I recently got the iPad Pro pad thing, the iPad. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna test it out because I never really used it before. And then I have Procreate on there, so I was like, okay, let me just do this. So I started playing around with it, and then from there, like, I started looking at like the finished product of it, and I was like, ooh, I really like it. It's very me, you know. I'm
Yeah.
very um I'm like a peaceful, calm person. I love the natural and all that stuff. So then the description that I got from this, I was listening to like gospel music, and
Oh,
then
cool.
like, because I listen to gospel music because it gives me ideas, especially when it comes to like words that they use in the song to describe. And I'm like, I want to use that word. So this, I think it was a song, and it said something about promise, and I was like, the promise would be the title for this one. So then the description for later on came up. I don't know, like sometimes I'm the type of person that I don't have the description ready at the moment. Like, normally some artists would have the description for their art ready. I do it last minute. Once everything's done, then I could look at the image and stare at it and be like, okay, let me think of something. So then that's what came to my mind. Um and I feel like God just put it in my head, like, all right, this is gonna be it. So just put it. So that's what I did.
I love the colors in the sky, especially with the purple and the yellow and the pink and grays. So beautiful. So you actually used your iPad for this, and so you usually create in Adobe Illustrator on a computer,
Yeah, I
right?
used the laptop, and then now I just started first using the computer, and then from there I'm like, all right, let me transfer it so I could do like the details and everything, and then I transfer it to the Procreate, and then
How did it feel doing that on the Procreate?
alright,
Because Adobe Illustrators, do you use a stylus with Adobe
no,
Illustrator?
like
Yeah, you're
click, click,
using
click,
right, right.
yes,
So now you did this piece with Procreate with a stylus, right?
yes.
How did that feel? Did you have more freedom? Did it feel
Yes,
uncomfortable?
it's more freedom, but I just, the getting comfortable with the pen is like a little issue with me because I'm like, I'm not used to this. Like, I'm so used to clicking and doing the
Right.
little curves and everything. Now it's just different.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Definitely. And for, let's see, for your second piece, I see here is more fashion oriented
Yes.
and it says seasonal. It reminds me of, I mean, there are a lot of fall colors
Yes.
and it looks like there are leaves in the back. Um, Tell me more about this.
Well, that one actually, I was on Pinterest, I believe, and I came across like a photo, and it was a part of like in a magazine. So it was a model, and it had like it just tells you, you know, like when you go on Vogue magazine, it has the photo of the model, and then it has like a little description on the bottom, like, okay, she's wearing this, she's wearing that, blah blah. So I was like, oh, I really like this image. So then I took it, I started doing the work on Adobe Illustrator. Then from there, I transferred it to Procreate. And I was looking at it, I'm like, it looks something seasonal. So I said, seasonal it is. And then I just put that, you know, as time changes, that can affect everything around you and everything about you. And I totally agree with that. Um, as seasons change, you know, people around you change, everything changes. So I thought of it, I'm like, maybe that has to do with my life, you know, like maybe that's something that I can um share with other artists, I guess. Like, you know, we all going through stuff. So yeah, like I just use that for the description of this piece. And I try to do as much detail as possible. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but the buttons, they're supposed to have like the Ethereum logo on.
Oh, wow. I did
Yeah,
not notice that.
thank
That's so
you.
great. Looking at your whole collection,
Hmm.
when I look at some of your pieces, not only do you, I know that you said you love nature, but when you cover um, some of your fashion pieces, they also have a lot of architectural
Yes,
details,
yes,
which is really beautiful. It really, there's this nice contrast between like the angles in the
yes,
architecture and then like the curves and the fashion, how that flows. Um, is that something that you see in the magazines as well?
yes,
The
I do.
architecture?
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. It's really beautiful. It has a nice contrast for sure. There's a lot of also vibrant colors
Yes.
in your work. What is that inspired by? Is that inspired by the magazine itself, or what you images you see, or how do you? What's your thought process with deciding on color?
Well, sometimes I use the actual color from the image, or sometimes I just play around with it. But like, I feel like I try to pick vibrant colors, but also like minimal colors, because my life is about that. Like, even my wardrobe is like minimal. Like, I try to find pieces that go with me, that suit me. The color has to, you know, suit me. So I try to put that into my art pieces. And also I feel like when you use colors, like colors can represent who you are as a person, like as an artist. Like that could be your signature piece. And yeah, that's really it.
Awesome. So I think this would be a great time to like talk about, you know, both all of your art um, is well, not I'm not sure if all of your art is, but you definitely have a large amount of art on both known origin and Rarible, um, which are blockchain platforms. How did you get introduced into the whole blockchain crypto art world?
Well, what happened was I was working in retail at the time, and that's where I met Jalil Dowdy. He introduced me to it. It was one day I just came to work, and during my break time, I believe it was, he was on his break or whatever, and then he was like talking about it to like a lot of people working there, so the coworkers, about like these platforms, and like, you know, it's you'll like, if you use your creativity, you know, people will love your art and stuff like that. He was saying, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just give it a shot. You know, it doesn't hurt. So then after he like showed me like how to use these specific platforms, because honestly, when I looked at the page, I'm like, I don't know how to use this. Like, this is very complicated. So yeah, he showed me how to use it, and then from there on, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, go for it. So then that's why, like, I noticed like when I look at my first pieces, like it wasn't like, oh, it's amazing, because like I still struggled like on like how to use specific programs on the computer. So I was trying to like figure out how to use it properly. But as time, you know, adapts and changes, it's like you get a little better, you know, like, all right, what to click on, what to do here. and how to do this and that. So then I gotta adjust it to it. And now I know like what to do on the programs that I use. Um, and I guess that also improves your skills and also as you improves you as a person too, because now you can go and share it with other people. Like, okay, now I'll show you how to use this program because I had a hard time too, but I taught myself how to do it. Um, and yeah, there, like I said, there's a lot of free resources. Like I use YouTube to show me like how to use like how to create certain things. Like for example, I was trying to figure out like what was vector illustration, so I like looked it up. It gives me a video of like what it is. It shows you how to do it. I was like, you know what? This is so easy. Like anyone can make art. So then that's what I've been doing lately. Just trying to like each and every piece that I do, I try to add something new to it because at the end of the day, I want to improve my skills and I just want to learn more and more.
Yeah, that's so awesome that you had Jalil's guidance too. Do you think without Jalil's guidance do you think you would have continued to try to use it or
If Julia would have not introduced me to it, I would have not known anything about it. Like, I probably would have just, probably, I don't know. I probably wouldn't even be like into art as much as I am now um, because of that. Because you know when you start working and then you have school and stuff, it's like you don't have time for it. But now it's like, all right, I have time, I can do this, I know how to do it. Because at first when I started posting, like I think our known origin Rarible and I forgot the other one, but I was having a hard time like you know liking my own work to the point I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I'm just gonna like quit because I look at other people's skills and I'm like, wow, like I'm not even close to that yet. And then I just try to give up so quickly when I told myself, you know what? I can't be giving up. And also that's what happened too when I was in college. I was taking a painting class and I remember we had to like paint something, like we had to look at it was like a vase and we had to like paint it onto the canvas and I was just having a hard time. I'm like, I can't do this. So eventually I just dropped the class because I was like looking at other people's talents and skills and I'm like, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm just gonna go. And then eventually I kind of regret it now because it's like you should never give up even if you don't see like the final touch of your piece or whatever it is. Just never give up, just keep going. Your hand, your arms, like your hand, your wrist or whatever is gonna get you there. Just keep practicing, it's gonna get you there. So now I'm like very grateful in a way that he did introduce me to the platforms.
I think it's cool that also that it's actually motivating you to want to do more art, the platform itself,
Yes.
which is really cool. So I think the other platform you may be on is OpenSea. Is that
Yes, open sea.
so? If you could share with me how your experience has been, like the joys and benefits of known origin versus Rarible versus OpenSea, you know, the community around those particular platforms, what they're like, and just the good things that you've seen for yourself and in general working with these different platforms.
Well, honestly, um, to be honest, it's kind of hard because like when you have to pick and choose, like, all right, which one should I put my piece on? Like, there's three, four different platforms. I don't know which one to choose. That was kind of like a hard one for me, but I feel like they all have great benefits because at the end of the day, everyone's very welcoming, loving, caring, and they're not like to me when I see them they're not greedy, you know, like if compared to like if you are a painter in the real world, like there's a lot of things going on that can kind of trigger you as an artist, you know, maybe you're like, you know what, I don't want to work with you because of this and this and that, or I don't want to put my piece here because of X, Y, and Z. But in when it came to like the crypto art platforms, they've been amazing. Like I said, been loving, caring, supportive. If you don't understand something, they're always there to help you. um, and everyone's just so supportive, and that's what I like about it. And I don't know, I just always like I'm very quiet, like especially when it comes to like social media. I don't really talk much because I'm still trying to like figure out and understand like the terms and like what are they talking about. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
saying. And then I don't want to be the awkward one, like, hey guys, I don't know what's going on here, but can you explain this to me or whatever? Um, so that's something I kind of struggle with on. That's why I don't really like talk much on the platforms because of that reason. Because I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, which I know I have to do that on my behalf. Um, but yeah, that's what I can say about it.
I think there are a lot of people who really don't know what the heck blockchain is. And you actually know more than most people. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And I think that even if you asked a question that you think maybe you should know, I think people would still be open to like
yeah,
be
that is
supportive in
true.
answering it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So how about I know that you've had struggles with deciding what art to put on what platform. What other struggles have you um, experienced using blockchain and for yourself, and also what have you also observed as far as struggles or like ways that it can be improved for everyone or for artists just coming into the space? Is there anything that you can?
Honestly, I've noticed like someone, I don't remember their name, but they started like doing this thing for like the black artists, because mostly like I noticed like black artists don't get a lot of like they don't get a lot of acknowledgement. Is that the proper word? Like they
Okay.
nobody really notices them, or they just like, oh, it's just some artist or whatever. But
Mm.
with them, like they started this platform for them, and I'm just like, that's absolutely amazing. Um, because now it's like, now we're known for our work. It's not just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this person painted this or this person did this. They just know them by their art piece. They don't know them for who they are as an artist. And I think that's like like that was amazing that that person did that. um but honestly, like I don't have anything negative, or like I said, everyone's very supportive, nice, and they're always there. And they're like, for example, like if I post something, they'll retweet it, like so other people can see, or like so that helps. As an artist, that helps a lot, and also supporters and everything. They're very very nice.
Tell me more about the person that started to create a platform for
Um,
Black artists. That would be great to know, so
or
people.
it's
Oh,
they're called at XX1 off.
XX1 off.
Yes.
Okay, and this is on Twitter.
Yes.
That's so great that whoever this person is doing that for sure. So what would be your advice to artists just thinking about coming into the crypto art world? What
Well,
what would you tell them?
I would say like just don't give up. Don't, because later on in life you might regret it, because you're gonna be like, oh, I should have done it. I should have done this and that. And also, never, never, never compare your work to someone else's. Like everyone's built differently, do things differently. They've probably been doing this for a while, so that's why their skills are a little more, a little more advanced and stuff. But never, never look at someone else's work and try to compare it to yours. Always be yourself. Um, Always make sure that your work is, yours, not take someone else's work. And if you do, like, let's just say, like, when it comes to me, I use someone else's, like, photos and stuff, and then I make it into illustrations. I always make sure that I, credit them in, because at the end of the day, that's their work. Um, and like I said, never give up. Always be you, and just stay focused, determined. There's gonna be days you may not have a lot of inspiration, nothing's coming to your mind or whatever. Just go ahead, look around, take a day or two. Maybe you need to like relax or something, get a book. Like I love to look through art books, magazines, and just like gather ideas. And then once you gather ideas, then you can like, all right, now I know what's my next piece gonna be about. So that's the thing. Just never give up.
Awesome. Those are great words. And how about for people who are creating these blockchain application software, all the blockchain developers, what would you say to them?
Um, well, for one of them, I believe it's Rarible. The only thing I wish they had was like if someone purchases one of your art pieces, like you get like a receipt or something. Because I noticed like you don't get a receipt. Sometimes you have to go back to the page and just like, okay, let me see if one of my pieces sold, or you know, um, that I wish they'd had like, because I know Known Origin has it. They give you like a notification and stuff. That way you can, on time you can like thank the person, like, hey, thank you for purchasing this piece, and like, making sure that you're not just like ignoring them and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I always have this thing collecting receipts also. I don't know why, but I get excited. I just like, all right, let me put them there. But
Yeah, I think that's so important to acknowledge collectors for sure, because they really are supporting the artists, and it's good to be prompt and showing them thanks. And so, what are you currently working on? Are there any current projects people should look up? I know you're on Crypto Voxels.
yes,
Um, Synoptic is I think he's the collector who has your
yeah, yeah.
pieces in Crypto Voxels. Okay. Are there any other projects that people should know about?
Well, right now I don't have any projects. I'm just working on a regular piece. I'm always open to collaborate with other artists. Because like at the end of the day, it's like when I think of collaboration, I think of it like a test, because now you have to like test your skills on like how can I work with their style with mine's. So you have to find like something that connects, you know, when it comes to making the piece, the final piece. So I think that's pretty cool, like just testing your skills and yeah, like just doing that.
I think you did a collaboration with Jaleel Dowdy, correct? And where can people see that? Is it on Jaleel's
I think
Known
it's
Origin
on,
or
yeah, I think it's on Jalil's, and it's called Peaches.
Peaches? Okay. And do you have any particular artists that you want to collaborate with next?
Um,
Anybody
it
that
doesn't,
you've been looking?
to me, honest, it doesn't really matter. I don't like saying like, oh, I want to do it with this person, because at the end of the day, I don't want to limit myself. Like I'm always ready for challenges, and even though it can be a challenge, because now I kind of have to think of like, all right, what can I use, or what can I make to like to connect it with the other artists' work. It's tricky, but it's always good to like build up your skills and like and just have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, when you create, you should always have fun and have um just be positive and fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so important that it's fun, that you enjoy what you're doing, and also get paid for something that you love doing, right? So that's great. And so where can people find you or contact you?
You can find me on Twitter as less hashtag. Wait, is it no underscore door? And then for Instagram, it's the same thing. So less LES underscore DORE door.
Okay. And what what is the meaning of
That it
is that
actually,
French? Is it
it's like
le
French,
door?
but the thing was like it was supposed to be called like Good Finds or something like that. But when I looked it up, because this was a while ago, I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I need something. I like, I like the French, the French style, like the words and like how they pronounce it and stuff. I was like, you know what? I want something French. I want something to like give me like that romantic type of name or something. So I was like, let me look up something. So I just put something in English. I think it was called the Good Finds or something. And then it gave me that. And then now when I go back to look at it, it gives me a different. I'm like, wait, what's going on? So now I'm like confused about it all.
The good find. Why did you choose that?
Because I feel like when it comes to that, I always thought like, when it comes to vintage, you always go to the shop, you always find something that you like, and it's one of a kind. So it's like the good find, one of a kind.
That makes awesome sense. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. So I appreciate all of your
Thank
time with
you. Thank
us.
you for having me here today.
If you haven't already, please help support this channel by hitting the subscribe button, clicking on the notification bell, and smashing that like button. Thank you, my rare digital birds. Until next time, fly high.